What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Knives of the Round Table. And this time I have something special for you guys. This is the newly released Custom Knife Factory SNAFU 3.0. Now, for those of you who don't know Custom Knife Factory, they are a really high-end production knife maker out of Russia. You think like a little bit higher than Chris Reeve, like I would compare them to like Grimm's Mill, okay, like that level of quality and high end. But I don't think, now don't quote me on it, but I don't think they do any designs in house. They always partner up with knife designers, and they bring some of their designs to market. So in this case, they partnered up with Peter Rosenti, and he designed the SNAFU 3.0. So this is obviously the 3.0. It's the third version of the SNAFU. And the way they do it is, for a little while, right now they're producing this, and when they're done with this one, they're going to move on to another designer, and they're going to produce one of his knives, and they're going to move on. And so I'm not sure how long it takes them to kind of get back to the first designer, probably a couple of years. So these are hard to get. Okay, they don't produce very many of them. They're expensive knives, but they are so good, and they're so sought after. Recently, was holding the lock bar. Recently, they did a drop of 60 of these. They did it through NC Blade, so I'll try and put a link in the description to NC Blade. And they did a drop of 60 of them, and they lasted less than 20 seconds. They were gone instantly. I was one of the lucky guys that managed to snag one of these. At the time of filming this, there are 4 subscribers on my channel, so I'm not an influential YouTuber to get early access to any of this kind of stuff, is what I'm saying. So this is the SNAFU 3.0. So let's talk about it. So let me give you some size comparisons, because this SNAFU is the smaller version of the SNAFUs. The other ones that they had made were larger knives. Now this one, as you can see, it kind of fits. It's closer to the Parrot 2, but it kind of fits in between those two. In terms of sharpened blade length, it has a larger sharpened blade length than the Parrot 2. But if you compare when they're closed, the paramilitaries they're known for having large carry profiles, but I mean that's a lot different, right? I mean, the Parrot 2 is bigger in this direction, and it's even longer in the handle for the sharpened blade length. Now, if we compare it to Benchmade's, that's the full-size bug out right there, and the mini bug out. So it is considerably larger than both of these, but it's in the pocket, it actually carries fairly well. If I show you in this direction, it's not that much thicker than the bug out, and this one carries really slim. So, I think this is like a 3.5-inch blade, and it's an M390 blade with a titanium frame lock. It has this unique lock bar. I don't know if it's an insert more than an overlay, right? It fits on the outside, but it looks really nice. And this particular version has the pivot collar and the pocket clip in Damascus, and I like this combination a lot, because you get a little pop of color in the pivot color, and you get a little pop of color. It's just like an accent that looks really, really nice. The action on these things on Custom Knife Factory is just incredible. You can see here, that's Peter Rosenti's mark, and Custom Knife Factory, that's how they do most of the knives. This in particular is number 25. Like I said, I'm not sure how many they're gonna do. Usually it's batches of around 200, 250 or thereabouts. So, like I said, they're hard to get. So, this was a good get for me. Now, the ergonomics are surprisingly good. Sometimes when I see these handles, they look, more angular, more futuristic. You see these drops, these kind of steps. But in reality, when you put your hand to it, they feel so very good that I would give it a very good to excellent ergonomics on this knife. You got this finger choke that you can choke up. It has this jimping that is not aggressive. It feels good in the hand, and it's just really, really, really good in the hand. The action on Custom Knife Factory is just incredible. It's it drops shut, it fires open. As long as you don't put your hand on the lock bar, that's kind of a requirement. Now, fit and finish on Custom Knife Factory, like I said, you have to be thinking a little bit higher than Chris Reeve. Kind of like what Grimsmo does. Holt might be a good comparison for them. So these are, but I would say that they're really good value, because this one was like $650, right around there. And for what you get, this Damascus and the M390 blade and Custom Knife Factory, Peter Rosenti's, I would say that I'd rather have this than a Grimsmo Norseman, just in terms of the action of the fit and finish of the aesthetics of the knife. Because look at that. I mean, it's a drop point blade, and it has this swedge that kind of starts back here and carries all the way through and merges with the fuller, and it just looks incredible, even closed, as you can see, perfectly centered. But it's just really, really good. You have these external stop pins that hit the frame right there, and it's just really, really, it's just a really, really nice knife. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, because I should have mentioned from the beginning, this is an integral. So most knives are made with two scales and a backspacer, right? Either backspacers or standoffs or something like that, and there's a gap in between. This one is an integral, and what that means is that was a solid chunk of titanium, and these and all of this and all of that was milled out. That groove, everything was milled out of a single piece of titanium, and that is, for an integral, this is a really, really good price, because the tolerances and the probability for error in an integral are much higher, right? If you're milling one of these scales and this one turns out good and this one is you make a mistake, or a bit is broken or something, you can discard this one, keep the other one, and just mill another one of this side of the scale. Not so with the integral frame locks, because what you get is you start milling, and then all of a sudden you get something, a mistake over here, you're done. You have to get rid of this one. So for Custom Knife Factory to be able to offer a Peter Rosenti design with this fit and finish and integral at $600, I think it's, now don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. You can get 3 or 4 of the pair of twos, right, with that kind of money. But in reality, I also think it's a really good value, and if you can, I would trade 3 or 4 of these for one of those. It is just that good. The cutting is incredible. It came crazy sharp out of the box. It's just really, really, really good. think my only gripe or dislike about it, I think, is for the most part, I can flip it open, no problem. But sometimes if my hand just touches the lock bar, I think you saw it at the beginning of the video, it will just not fire. It will not fire. But all in all, I think this is probably going to become one of the knives of the round table. This is most likely going to jump into my top 10. It's just the action, the fit and finish, and the aesthetics. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful knife. And for the size, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that my sweet spot is right at 3.25 inches to 3.5 inches, and this is certainly there. And the fact that it goes into a carry profile that is just very, very small package, I'm impressed with how much blade they can fit in a handle that is this small. Well, in any event, guys, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoy this, and if you think I earned it, and if you like to see more content, like, subscribe, and until I see you again, take care.